Good evening, welcome to episode 6, can you believe it, of our BaseTalk. Thanks for coming back. We're just waiting for everybody to get here before we begin, and then I will talk to you about what I'm going to talk to you about. I won't get started just yet. I will wait until everybody's here, just so I don't have to repeat myself. I've got my tablet set up just down here. I'm going to get it opened up because it's easier to see any questions and answer any comments on my tablet than it is on my phone, which is in front of me. And hopefully nobody phones me this week, because that was a bit inconvenient last week, but hey ho, some people want to talk. So here we go, week number 6. Can you believe it? How time flies. Time does fly when you're having fun. So this is, as I said, week number 6, and it all kind of started from the stretching and recovery class that we did, what would be 7 weeks ago now. Decided to start a sort of weekly chat show. Wednesday night with Ian Letton. Late night chat show. Talking about nutrition, training, food, recovery, whatever. And a chance for you to put in any questions or requests or anything that you want to talk about. And hopefully I can help towards that. Last week we spoke about training, barriers to exercise, and sort of techniques to overcome them. Obviously, I'm not going to go over that again because that was last week. If you didn't see last week, feel free to go and catch up on it. It's in the video library, and I've also uploaded a couple of them to YouTube. This week, we're going to talk again about food, but this time from a slightly different perspective, a different angle. Because this week, I've had three clients return food diaries to me, and they've all kind of had similar kind of goals and similar kind of issues that they bump into along the way, just an average week of eating. So throughout tonight, I'll kind of cover all of the things that I've seen in those examples and plenty of other examples of food diaries as to problems that people have or difficulties that people have when it comes to food. But first of all, I just want to revert back to see really what food is and what food means to you. Because in a very, very basic level, food is simply fuel for our bodies. It is the petrol to our car. That's really all it is. If we had no taste buds and we had no consideration of taste, then we would all simply eat specifically probably manufactured food that meets all the needs, all the criteria, those everyday milkshakes that have all your calories, vitamins and minerals and nutrients in it that you need and no more. It would probably solve world hunger. It would probably solve obesity crises and malnourishment, but there'd be no taste, and there's a lot more issues to it than just that. Taste is one of the biggest things. A lot of people, as we know, have sweet tooths. I have a sweet tooth. I have just a habit of eating anything that you just, if you leave it lying around, it's not going to last long. Even if I'm totally full, I will finish somebody else's meal just because I hate to see food go to waste. We could wrap it up and save it for tomorrow, but we might not make it to tomorrow. That was a silly little comment I made to Susie the other day about food because I wanted to finish her dinner. She wanted to keep it for tomorrow, and I didn't, so I ate it. But it's a similar problem that we all have. It can be unnecessary eating, it can be sweet treats, but sometimes we need to take our thinking back to what food is overall, what food means to us. Food is fuel. If we're exercising, if we're working out quite hard, then we need to fuel ourselves better and more efficiently and more effectively. If perhaps we're not training as hard, then we need to readjust our nutrition, our food, and our fuel for that matter. If you drive a small engined Ford Fiesta, it's not going to go through as much fuel as a 6-litre Range Rover is going to go through. And neither one or other is better, they're just different, and they need to be treated differently, which is the same for you and I. I'm fairly average in height and stature. I probably fit into the average male category. I perhaps do a little bit more exercise than the average male. But my friend Paul is 6'2". He's got an extra couple of kilos of muscle than I do, so his basic energy rate is going to be higher than that, and vice versa. I've got friends who are shorter and skinnier than that, so their basic calorie needs are going to be lower than that. So we need to fuel correctly, and we need to fuel correctly for us based on who we are and what we are and what styles of exercise and training we're doing. And that we need to take into consideration the types of foods and the quality of foods we're eating. You know, simple things like white pasta over brown pasta. They might look the same, but they are slightly different. You know, eating a lot of sweets, a lot of chocolates, a lot of junk food, high in calories, therefore high in energy. So if you were going to go for a run and you needed some instant energy, stuff your face with a couple of bites of sweets or something. I went for a run last weekend and I got hungry along the way and I didn't have any food with me, so I dropped into Spar. Fortunately I had my phone because I didn't have any money, so I Apple Paid. I bought myself a bottle of water and 3 very small packets of Haribo. I shoved all 3 packets in my mouth in one time, almost choked myself to death, and it was just enough fuel to carry me on. Was it the highest quality fuel available? No. Did it work? Yeah, it's totally fine. It works. So we just need to be aware of what is available to us and what makes the most sense for us in the long term. And we also can need to consider what is the best bang for buck. You can have a donut, which is probably, we did this in a quiz a few weeks ago, I can't remember. I think a Krispy Kreme donut, just a plain glazed one, was about 250, maybe 300 calories. And that's about it. It's just mostly carbohydrates because it's mostly sugar, a little bit of fat in there, very few minerals and vitamins, so it's nothing nutritional for you. 300 calories of just fun and sugar, which is fine. But that's 300 calories out of your daily allowance, which let's just say, for sake of argument, is 2,000 calories. So that's 300 calories gone already just from one donut. It's probably not filled you up. It's probably going to make you feel a little bit rubbish afterwards, but boy, did it taste good. Whereas for the equivalent 300 calories, we could have a bowl of what Susie has just taken upstairs, a bowl of granola with Greek yogurt on top with some fresh fruit. Yeah, it might be pushed up a little bit, maybe 300 and 350 calories. But in that granola, you're getting nuts, you're getting raisins, you're getting little bits of fruit in there as well. So it's got a wide variety. There's probably some vitamins and minerals in there. In the yogurt, you're getting calcium, you're getting protein, you're getting healthy fats. And in the strawberries, you're getting some fruit as well. So same kind of calorie count, maybe a little bit more for the granola, but certainly a healthier option with more fuel, more benefits for the human body. So it's just important to be aware of what you're eating and how it's affecting you, how it's fueling you. Both of them are fine, but they have their place. You know, you're not going to have a donut for lunch every day or a snack every day, but maybe a granola bowl with some Greek yogurt and some fruit on top is an optional snack for you because it is healthy and it does work towards our goals in terms of overall health and high quality food as opposed to not so good quality food. Another thing that I frequently get asked about, probably on a weekly basis, and I have done ever since I started this job, was either what supplements do you take or what supplements should I take? And it's something that I personally feel quite passionate about. And before I go into that, I'm going to tell you the definition of supplements that I took off the internet earlier. And supplements is a thing added to something else in order to complete or enhance it. Something that is added to something else to complete or enhance it. So that could be anything, you know. Anything can be supplemented. Your income, you have a job that brings in X amount of money, but your lifestyle takes a little bit more. So maybe you have a side hustle. Maybe you've got a part-time job on the side doing deliveries for Amazon that brings in a supplement income. That enhances your income and allows you to live a bit more of a luxurious life. So a supplement can be anything. In terms of health and food and lifestyle, supplements can be vitamins and minerals. They can be protein shakes. They can be diet pills. They can be many different types of things. They can be rehydration tablets. Something that helps you complete or enhance your diet. Personally, I only recommend to people, and I only consume myself, supplements that I feel that I or my clients are lacking in. And I'm not always the best, most important person, most able person to tell somebody what that is. Sometimes you might have to go to a nutritionist or a doctor or a dietitian to find out what that is. But I personally know, just through my eating habits, that my overall vitamin mineral intake is not quite as high as it could be. Certainly for some vitamins like potassium, through various vitamins, vitamin D, and the omegas that you get in fish, oily fish and fats and whatnot. So I do take supplements. I usually take a dissolvable tablet, which is a multivitamin, but I ran out and I haven't been able to get any in the shop, so I have reverted to just the little multivitamin tablets. And as far as I know, that is the only supplements that I take. I have in the past messed around with protein powders and creatine monohydrate, which in some instances have been proven to benefit training, but there's far more to it than that. For most people, generally don't take this offensively, I include myself in this bracket, for the most average people, which is most people in the world, they are a total waste of money. Certainly protein shakes. If you're not doing heavy strength training 3, 4, 5 times a week, that is putting your muscles under serious strain, then protein shakes and the likes are a total waste. You need to be really destroying your muscle fibers by doing heavy weight training in order to really increase your protein intake, your protein requirements. You know, for most people, we can go on 0.8 to 1 grams of protein per kilo of body weight per day. So let's just say it was 1 gram of protein per kilo of body weight. I am 80 kilos for easy maths. That would be 80 grams of protein a day for me just to maintain my current muscular status and the training that I do, which is not massively difficult. In order to put on muscle, you should be looking at anywhere between 1.2 and 1.4 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. So that's going to jump that up quite big into 100 grams, 120 grams of protein per day, which is bigger. So you can achieve that by eating right. And I always try and suggest to people going down that route, but it's not always that easy. If you're a much larger person, so obviously if you weigh 120 kilos and then on top of that you need to eat 1.2 to 1.4 grams of protein per kilo, that's going to start jumping up pretty high. So the easiest way of doing that is to have a protein shake. But not many of us fit in that category. So therefore, in my personal opinion, protein shakes, creatine monohydrate, that kind of thing, waste of money, my opinion. And I do not tell my clients, I do not recommend my clients to go out and buy them. I certainly don't affiliate myself with anybody who sells them because I don't take them myself. I'm not going to push on something that I personally don't feel I need, unless their needs differ to mine and they do need it, in which case I will recommend that they take a supplement for it, whether that is because they don't get out in the sun much, because they've spent the last 3 months indoors. Well, perhaps we should consider taking a vitamin D supplement. I know we've had a lot of sun recently, so we're probably doing okay on that front anyway. I'm happy to go into more depth about... Hold on, got a question. Morag says she sometimes chucks a scoop of protein shake in with berries and milk as a protein shake for brekkie as a breakfast veggie. Oh, I can't see the rest of that comment. My phone's annoyingly slow. Hold on a second, I'll be right with you. I want to see what the rest of that comment says. And my tablet has just shut down on me. Bum, bum, bum. I'll be right with you. I've not forgotten you. Here we go. So you said, sometimes I put a scoop of protein shake in with my berries and milk as a protein shake for breakfast. As a vegetarian, I find I lack protein. Would you advise against this? So that is a prime example of somebody who may need to enhance their diet with a supplement in order to reach the right amount of protein for your target. My first my first suggestion would be to look at your diet overall and to see if there's any normal ways of getting your required protein into your system. And it is definitely harder as a vegetarian. It's not impossible. You can get protein in pulses and in nuts and in various other sources, but these do come with the downside, especially with nuts, that they're high in fat and therefore high in calories. So, vegetarians are definitely in that group where perhaps protein shakes can be of use, because they do need to supplement their diet because they can't meet the requirements through other areas of their eating. So that is a totally acceptable option. Let's just make sure we're not relying on it solely, because it does get quite expensive and they don't always taste that wonderful. But totally fine. Good reason there. Catherine has said, I would recommend a vitamin D supplement even when it is sunny in Scotland, to be honest. Catherine is, correct me if I'm wrong, a clinical dietitian. Nutritionist? Dietitian. Correct me if I'm wrong. So she probably knows quite a lot about this. Definitely, it's been sunny a lot for the past wee while, but come September to March, we basically live in pure darkness, which is not ideal for vitamin D. Vitamin D is essential for the uptake of calcium through what we eat, which is obviously important not just for bone and skin and teeth, but also for your cell repairs and just internal functionality. So vitamin D is really important. We're being suggested it by a dietitian, so I'll go for that one. She's a dietitian. Good job. Cool. So that's my thought on supplements. Happy to go into it in more detail, but I'm just going to quickly move on to something that 2 people brought up to me this week, which was along the lines of, I eat really well during the week. I like to relax and eat pretty well at the weekends and have fun, but I don't always feel like I'm losing as much weight as I feel I should be. And to be honest, I probably fit into that category too, and I know Susie does as well. And perhaps you can relate to this as well, that Monday to Friday lunchtime, we have a pretty fixed routine. We eat pretty healthy, breakfast, lunch and dinner. We maybe don't snack that much. But then come Friday night and the weekends, things maybe start to get a little bit wild. We've had a tough week at work, dealing with whatever kind of nonsense. When we get to the weekend, we want to kick back and relax. So to give you a little example of why that might not be super beneficial, even though it is enjoyable, is let's say, just for the sake of simple maths, that 2,000 calories per day is my required amount of calories to maintain my current body weight, okay? And now we want to take that 2,000 calories per day and make it look over a week. So 2 times 7 is 14. So that would be 14,000 calories in a 7-day period that I can consume to maintain my current body weight. If I wanted to lose body weight, then I would be looking to put myself into a calorific deficit. Okay? Even the smallest little bit under that total will help me lose weight. Okay? And by weight, I mean body fat. Because I weigh 80 kilos. That 80 kilos, hopefully, is not all fat. There's some bones in there. There's a couple of smaller muscles. There's an awful lot of hair. There's teeth. There's eyeballs. There's blood. There's everything. So when you think of your body weight, don't be thinking, oh my God, I weigh 80 kilos. What a fatty. You've got to think what that's comprised of. When we talk about I want to lose weight, for most of us, we talk about fat loss. Doesn't sound quite as nice, but it's true. So in order to lose body fat, we need to be in a calorific deficit. So I want to be in under 14,000 calories over that 7-day period. So let's say I'm going to be super healthy Monday to Friday, and I'm only going to eat 1,800 calories per day. Okay? Which is not many. That's certainly for me. To take off 200 calories per day would be quite a chunk. And that would be, I think, 9,000 calories in that 5-day period. Okay? Which is great. That's me 5,000 calories under my target. But if I then go into the weekend and I blow all the taps off and I have 2,500 calories each day, all of a sudden you're already back at 14,000. So if you've got 5 healthy days at 1,800 calories, but then you have 2 blowout days at 2,500 calories, you may as well just have a consistent, happy, tasty week at 2,000 calories every day. You know, you might be thinking that's worth it. Cutting down during the week allows me to blow out the weekend. But if you're doing that, it's not going to permit you to hit that calorific deficit that we need to lose our body fat. So we just need to be aware of how much an impact those 2 days of excess and fun and relaxation can have when we're moving towards our goal of weight loss. And now, I'm not saying let's be totally strict and eat 1,800 calories over the weekend and not have any fun, because that would be totally hypocritical. Because I love to have fun at weekends, I love to eat pizzas and be wild about it. But if our goal is fat loss, which I'm going to let you into a secret, mine's not right now. It's just to eat lots of food. But if your goal is weight loss and you're not losing any, but you're still having big blowout weekends, then perhaps that is the area that we need to consider. We don't need to cut it out completely, but we might need to play it a little bit smarter. Okay? So we need to understand our bodies, our needs, and our overall goals, and how important that is to us. And personally, from what I've found out tons of times with other clients, and 3 more times this week, is a food diary is a really great way of just finding that out about yourself. Because it's easy to see how healthy you are during the week and be proud of it, and then all of a sudden it's like letting the cat out of the bag, and the weekend just goes all to hell, and you're all of a sudden you're off track. So if we can pinpoint those areas, we can see areas that we can improve, how we can improve them, and that'll help us work towards our goals or whatever it is. It might not be weight loss. It might be strength gain. It might be increasing our speed when we're out running, or whatever it might be. But a diet is a massive, important part of that we really need to get a grasp of and a good understanding of in order to help us get to our goals in the best possible way. So I'm going to call it a night there. We spoke about food, what it means to us. Food is really just fuel for the body. It's just the petrol for your car. That is all. And you can you can go to your farm, you can steal 30 litres of red diesel that's made for tractors, and your car's going to run, but it's probably not going to run that well. Or you can go to Germany, you can buy that 100 octane high performance fuel that supposedly makes your car run better. There's different fuels for different purposes, and we need to fuel our body accordingly. Too many donuts, not ideal. Too many carrots, not ideal. Happy medium. Supplements. Have a think about if you need to supplement something in your life. You know, are you a vegetarian? Are you struggling to get enough protein in your diet? Well, then perhaps maybe you do need a protein supplement. If you're not, but you're taking them just because the dude on Instagram takes them and he's doing a good 10% discount right now, maybe you should stop. Send me that money instead. I'm just kidding. Vitamin D, we've already heard from dietitian that vitamin D is important, so maybe sign up to Holland & Barrett, get yourself a tasty vitamin D supplement. Have a think, have a look at what your diet may need in order to enhance it or to complete it. See if something is missing from that chain. And as I've called it, nice then naughty. 5 days of being nice and healthy and clean and well-rounded, working hard towards your goal, and then 2 days of being naughty. It might feel great, it might taste good, but how much damage is it doing in terms of working towards your goal? Just some things to consider. Maybe keep a food diary for a week or 2. Have a look at it, see if there's any patterns emerging, and see if that weekend is really kicking your goals into the atmosphere. Any questions? Fire away. Otherwise, thank you very much for your input, for asking questions, telling me things I needed to know. If you have any suggestions on topics for next week, fire away. Always happy to really discuss anything. It's nice to kind of study up on what I'm doing, so it's nice for a refresher. It's nice to share thoughts and ideas with you guys out there, and hopefully you can learn something from it as well. So it's a nice sunny evening. Maybe we should go and sit outside in the garden for a bit, get some fresh air, get a little bit of vitamin D in the skin, and then go and enjoy the rest of our evening. Thanks again for coming and taking part, being here with me. Check out the timetable for classes tomorrow and the rest of the week. Otherwise, I will see you all very soon. Catherine has just put up at one point there, which said, good chats, totally agree about protein shakes. I get asked them about a lot and agree with all your other thoughts. Well, that's good to know. It's always nice to agree with a qualified dietitian. So, cool. Glad we're on the same page. Always nice to hear. Have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday nights, and we'll catch up with you soon. Good work, team. Bye.